that weird foot thing. Today, we are learning about carbon footprint. It's kind of a big word. Let's break it down. Okay, seriously. First, what is carbon? Carbon is an element, so it's a teeny tiny part of something, and we are all made up of carbon. Humans are made up of carbon, and so is every other living thing on Earth is made up of some carbon. And so, a long time ago, all of these animals and plants have lived, and then they've died, and then they got all squished because of the different layers in the earth and also the heat, and so they got all squished. And what happens is that is what makes fossil fuels. So it's all that carbon layers getting, it turns into oil and different things, and we suck it out of the earth. And if you think about it, it took a long time to get that substance way far down in the earth and all compressed. And now we're using it in 100 to 200 years. So I wonder what the repercussions are for that. I wonder how that impacts us. When you burn the fossil fuels, it comes out as carbon dioxide, and our world needs carbon dioxide or else the oceans would be cold. It helps trap the sun's energy so Earth doesn't freeze. So we need some of it, but we have way too much of it because of this problem that we're burning it so fast, and we're also running out. So how are we gonna live when it all runs out? The second half of the term is footprint, and you probably all know what footprint is, but just to think about it a little bit deeper, a footprint shows us where we've been. Maybe we were outside playing in the mud or on the softball field, or maybe we were in the snow. So a footprint shows us where we've been, and it can also impact the material that we step on to make the footprint, such as, let's see, like the tile or the carpet.
Lily, this better not be your footprint on the carpet.
Oops. A carbon footprint is the amount of carbon dioxide we produce from our daily lives. So now let's think about what we do to create our carbon footprint. So let's talk about what makes a carbon footprint. Driving makes a carbon footprint. This is because the gasoline that we use in our cars and trucks to drive are burning fossil fuels. A second thing that creates a carbon footprint is buying items such as clothes or food or your markers or your bed or your cell phone that come from other places. And these items that come from other places cause a carbon footprint because of the carbon that is used to fly them or ship them over to where we are, to where we buy them in the stores. A third thing that causes a carbon footprint is electricity. When we plug any device into an outlet, it uses electricity, which oftentimes to create this energy is used through carbon.
We're adding to our list is water. We use water every day to take a shower, we use water to drink and wash our dishes and many other things, and we take water for granted. We often use too much water when we don't actually need it. And why we should be mindful of the way we use water every day is because of the carbon it takes to clean water is very impactful.
There are also some ways that we can make our carbon footprint smaller. One way to lessen our carbon footprint is by carpooling. Carpooling, instead of everyone taking their own car and spending the gasoline to get there, only one person drives and multiple people get there with less carbon going into the atmosphere. Another way is by reusing. Reusing means to use again. And you can reuse many things. You can reuse grocery bags, you can have reusable water bottles in class, and yet every day, so many water bottles, plastic water bottles go through just one use and then they get thrown into the landfills, and this is a big problem. And that's a problem with a lot of items that are just single use, so reusing can make a huge impact on our earth. Composting is another way. Composting lets things break down naturally. So like leaves and food, anything that isn't plastic or man-made can go in the compost, and then naturally, just how millions of years ago plants and animals have decomposed. And so compost is a great way to avoid throwing away things that can naturally decompose into a big landfill where it's harder for things to decompose, and you have to use a lot of carbon to burn these things, and then carbon gets into these. This one is as simple as a switch. Turn off the lights when you're not using them. If you can open windows, use the natural sunlight. This is good for the environment and also good for you. This last one is a splash. By taking shorter showers and even showering every other day, we can save a lot of water and a lot of energy and overall a lot of carbon and a lot of the planet just by being mindful about how we use water every day. Everybody, I'm just here on my couch with my computer, and I am going to the link below that I linked for you guys. It's called thefootprintcalculator.org, and I am going to take the quiz, and I hope you guys can take the quiz too, and then we can talk about our findings.